Hey there YouTube, it's Hex again. Welcome back for another video. Today is going to be part one of probably like 3 or 4 that Chris and I are going to be doing for how to properly load or fix candles. We got a candle shipment, so if you guys follow us on Instagram, you'll kind of see that we're getting our shipments in now for our candles, and we are going to set up another prosperity candle just for our own personal money maintenance. And I wanted to kind of update you guys. I know there's a video on my channel from a few years ago that showed how I used to load 7-day jar candles. But things have kind of changed a little bit since then, and I just kind of want to update you, especially since I'm using some new tools and whatnot. So Chris is here. He's filming. He's holding it for me because it's hard to do with just one hand. So we're going to get started. In my bowl here, I have a money drawing mix of some different herbs, mainly patchouli and cinnamon. Those are my preferred herbs. That just is what works for me and the energy that I like to draw in money and prosperity. You can use quite a few different herbs. Calendula. You can do, some people do rosemary. You can do bay leaf. I've seen just many different herbs used. Red cedar works great. What else do you like for money drawing? I think we kind of use the same things, right?
For the most part. I mean, I personally like to use red cedar a lot.
Yeah.
And red cedar, cinnamon, and patchouli, and then I'll add, and you'll go over here. You can see we've got some cascarilla up here too,
which we make ourselves. They'll also be offering. We'll be offering that very soon. Probably in the next shop update for the Mysterious Spirit. I'll talk about that when I get to it, though, about why we use that and kind of how it works. But yeah, so to start, you want to get your candle, remove any labels if you don't want to keep them on. Like these candles that we get come with like a little sticker just from the manufacturer. It's just a barcode label so that they can scan it in as they're packing. I remove that, make sure there's no residue. I like a blank candle personally, or the screen printed kind, whatever. And then I actually take Florida water and I kind of coat my hands and really saturate my hands, and I actually cleanse the candle. So I'll rub the candle down inside and out just to remove any excess energetic residue that might be on there from the manufacturing process, the packing and shipping, all of that fun stuff. So it kind of just gives you like a blank candle. And then what you'll need is some kind of tool to actually puncture the candle. I've seen a lot of people debate whether or not this is a good idea because they feel like it messes with the functionality of the candle. In my opinion, it works better that way. I normally will use like a skewer or like a chopstick to get in there. I can't seem to find the one that I keep on hand, so we just have a really long old screwdriver, so that's what I'm going to use. And you want to get in and puncture all the way down, as far down as you can get. You might have to twist and turn a little bit, and that's fine. It's going to take a little bit of work. It's called root work for a reason, folks. Magic is not a quick fix solution. Like, you can't just slap some herbs and oil together and surprise results. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to put time and effort and energy. Oh, and I just broke a chunk of the candle out because the screwdriver is got quite a large, it's a flathead, so it's got that large chunk on there. That's okay, don't even worry about that. If anything, that'll help you just load the oil better so it's not burning the wick out, because sometimes, especially in the 7-day candles, because it's in glass, if you put too much oil in, the oil actually will pool around the wick, and then you will lose a lot of the functionality that way.
I've actually had the unfortunate
we've had a couple
lesson
candles
in that.
Yeah, he and I have dressed a couple candles for a couple particular workings that we like to do, and we've had that happen a few times, so we have to be a little more mindful sometimes of how we do that. So
do you want me to get the skewer instead?
No, it's fine. I'm almost done. There we go. And you will, depending on the tool you use, get quite a bit of wax, like pull out from the actual tool. Like you'll have some on here that falls at the top. That's fine. I kind of just press it back down. into the top of the candle. Because in the 7-day candles, you can carve across the top if you want to put something in there. If you want to show them like the top there. So if you see, aside from the broken piece that I just did, surprise, never a smooth video here on Hex Arcanum, but you know, it's cool. We do what we do. There's 3 different holes. I kind of make a triangle around the wick. And the reason I do this is because we are going to pour oil in, and the oil, like I said before, can cause the wick to pool out and cause an inconsistent burn. So I try to get the oil down into, obviously some on top, but down into the holes, and I try to get some of the herbs loaded down into the holes. That's also pulling the herbs down into the candle, so as it burns, you get a cleaner burn. So if you want to show them again the top of the candle, I'll go ahead and kind of demonstrate that. So as you guys see here, I'm gonna try to get it in frame. There we go. Some money drawing oil here that we make at the Mysterious Spirit. I'm just gonna take some of this and I'm gonna pour into the candle. You don't need a ton, just enough to get a nice coat of oil in there. So if you want to show them there. And our oils, we keep the herbs and curios and stuff in there, so I always shake it before, and if you get a little bit in the candle, even better. It's okay. I just was kind of looking for myself. The top of the candle has now been coated with oil. A lot of it I kind of will move the candle around to get it into the actual holes. If any gets on your hands, that's okay. Ours is skin safe. Just rub it in to your hands. Okay. The next step is going to be loading your herbs. So you're going to do it much the same way. So Chris is going to go in again to the top of the candle. And I'm going to pick up some of the herbal mixture. And as I'm doing this, Chris has noticed that I'm not really like a very verbal, like outward spoken person when I'm doing my enchantments. So, that's just not that's not how I've ever worked. I do when I'm in like a big ritual format, and I'm really needing to call on somebody, but in this case, I am already just activating the herbs, and kind of giving them some energy so that they can do the work for us. So getting some of that into my fingers, and I'm sprinkling it around the top of the candle, making sure to get some into the holes.
Going at an angle so they can see.
Yeah. I'm hoping that you guys are able to follow this. I like to put kind of a generous amount of herbs. I feel like people don't want to. Obviously, you have to be careful, again, that you're not overloading and over saturating the candle. Otherwise, you can disrupt the burn, because it does need to burn off some wax in order for it to function properly. So now that I've done that, I'll continue to do my enchantments and dress and bless the candle. Prior to actually loading the particular candle, you can go ahead and write your petitions on the outside of the glass with Sharpies. A lot of people do that. If you have a particular petition that you want to do, you can get a pen and a paper and actually either I've seen people glue it to the outside of the candle. You can tie it to the outside of the candle.
I personally prefer to tie it to the candle.
That's how Chris likes to do it. I like to burn it underneath the candle. That's just how I was taught. That's how I've always done it. That's what works for me. Or I will actually burn the petition itself and make an ash. It's sometimes known as spirit ash. There's different ways that you can do that. You can use pictures, things like that, and I will load the candle with that as well, just depending. Next, I'm going to use some cascarilla. Now, cascarilla, for those of you that don't know, is just ground eggshells. It's used in a lot of protection work, and in some other traditions, it's used to draw sigils onto the altar tops or onto the ground for workings that they're doing. However, there was a woman in my life that taught me that she used cascarilla to call clients and better business, and it was something that she incorporated into her everyday prayers for that. And she owned a botanica at one point. So I put some cascarilla in my hand, and as I'm sprinkling, I'm saying my enchantments to draw better business, bring in continuous clients for financial stability.
What I also like to add to my enchantments when I'm using Cascaria for money draw is I also, because Cascaria is widely used to protect,
Yeah,
I
I make
also ask
sure that
that.
it's protecting our current financial state.
Exactly.
That it's protecting the money that you do have. We keep a little canister of Cascaria separate from this on our prosperity altar. Um, because what we then do after, now this candle is pretty much fully loaded. This is where I stop, and I continue on with prayers. Chris will kind of show you the top of the candle. It looks pretty full. From here, we will go in and we will do this every morning. So this mix that I have here and the Cascaria will go with the candle to the altar, and every day, a couple times throughout the day, we will say another prayer, and we will feed the candle a little bit more. So a pinch of the herbal mixture back into the candle, and we continuously burn our candles. We don't really put them out unless we're going to be gone for more than a normal day, because the way we set our altar up, it's on something, so if the candle does crack or break, it's not going to catch fire. So just be mindful when you guys are burning your candles. You can put them out. I just find we get a better result that way. But the trick is to also feed your candles. I feel like a lot of people don't do that, and they wonder why their spell work is not as effective. You can't just take a candle, dress it, load it, place it, done, if you're using a candle for more than one day. So typically your normal like coach candles or house candles, which are like your typical taper style candles, or your chime candles, are meant for that one use in that time frame of typically within 8 hours. So those you kind of really can't feed them unless you're sitting there continuously praying over them. But with a 7-day candle, I like to continuously feed it with the herbs. And every time I'm doing that, I'm adding more intention. So when that final flame goes out and it releases the energy you've packed into it, it packs a stronger punch.
And me personally, I like to feed them 3 times a day. I'll feed it as soon as I get up,
Yeah.
and then if I'm home during the day, then I'll be able to, feed it about midway through the day, and then whenever I come home from work, because I tend to work evenings into the nights, I'll feed the candle when I come back home from work too.
And
It's
our
all
money,
about what you put into it.
totally. That's the thing with root work. It's kind of what you put into it is what you get. I think I've showed before, our money drawing altar is kind of just inside our front door, like in the entryway to our home, in the living room area.
Do you want me to go put it on the camera?
No, it's okay. We'll show you guys like an updated altar situation once we kind of get them how we specifically want them. Right now, they're kind of, things are shifting, and we're finding like what works for us as far as that goes. But it's kind of facing like our entryway, which is to bring money into the home. So that's always there. So it's a reminder as we're coming in or leaving to go ahead and feed it. Chris feeds it 3 times a day. I feed it twice a day, once in the morning before I leave, once at night. And then the reason I do that is because I feed it in 3s. I offer a stick of incense or a sprinkle of incense or a cone, something like that, as part 1, a sprinkle of the herbal mixture, and a sprinkle of cascaria. And that's just my trinity of offerings that I leave to the candle and the spirits that are working for us. So I think too it's important that when you guys are blessing the herbal mixture, I as I'm mixing, I make sure to put my hands in there. People will mix with a spoon and kind of do this motion. You can if that works for you, but for me, I'll kind of mix it together to start, and then I get in with my hands and really massage everything. Chris is the same way. We're very hands-on people like that. I'm activating the herbs, I'm flowing energy into it, and I'm asking the spirits of those plants and those roots to work on our behalf. And I'm loading the candle in the same manner, and I'm asking that positive spirits are drawn to the light of this candle to do our bidding and to use the energy in those roots to draw and protect our money. So that is how you would typically load, or how I was taught. I know there's practitioners that do things differently. I've met conjure doctors and mambos and other witches that do things differently. that's just what works for me. This is what has given me results. Chris has seen some of the results from my candles that I've loaded. Some of them, they're very shocking, the results of how quick they are. One final quick tip for this type of candle work. If you are going to be leaving your candle burning and you're concerned with the fire aspect, you can actually take a bowl, fill a fire-safe bowl, fill it with water, not a ton, just enough to kind of come up to about here on the candle, and you can place the candle in that water. So if it does crack and burn, everything falls into the water. That can happen a lot of the times. These candles crack depending on the brand of candle that you are getting. The manufacturer can have some defects sometimes where the wick gets too close to the glass and the flame causes the glass to crack. Or I have also had the candles implode on themselves because of the amount of power that is in them, or the resistance from the target, if it's like a cursing work or a love work, something like that. So just keep that in mind. My other thing is, if you're doing this type of work for a quick fix and not general money maintenance, if you have something like a bill, perhaps, that you need to pay immediately and swiftly, put that down, take your money drawing oil, dress your fingers, and do a 5-point spot mark. So what that is, it's called a quincunx and other like terminology. Just like on a die, 5 points. One on each corner, one in the middle. That is a mark that signifies like securing something into reality and putting it down, and then you would burn your candle on top of that bill and pray for that specific need as well. So depending on your intention is kind of how you're going to utilize the candle. Yeah, that is pretty much the basics of candles. You don't have to use colored candles. White is a universal shade. So if you need, if you can't get your hands on a good quality colored candle, white is always a good option. For me, color, especially as an artist, color for me is a very big symbolizer, and it's something that I pull energy from. So I like to use colored candles or like the screen printed candles. I'm very visual, so that helps me visualize and focus my energy and intent more. Yeah. But if you guys have any more questions about how we load and utilize 7-day candles or your jar candles, please let us know in the comments below. Anything else you want to add? I feel like...
Well, I mean, I know that if you guys are looking for some good quality jar candles, the 7-day jar candles, I do know that Target sells them in the home and furniture area. When I used to work there a couple years ago, it was in the D section, and you know that they're like $1 or $2 for a 7-day jar candle, and they have all the different colors down there.
Work.
So you know, it's a good place to go for a cheap candle if you need something quick.
With those particular candles, and Chris, if you want to pan in, I want to talk to you guys about something as well. To be mindful of with these types of candles is the diameter. So a lot of the times you'll see the $1 or $2 candles. They'll work, but you have to be mindful of how you're loading them and how you're utilizing them. And those, you really can't start and stop the workings. Once you put that wick out, it tends to pull up on itself. The diameter and the wick need to match each other. And this is like candle science, you guys. Otherwise, it won't burn correctly, and it can actually pull down and put itself out no matter what you try. So you actually have to scrape a ton of wax out, and by that point, you're completely distorting the purpose of the candle. So you want to make sure that when you're loading the candle, that especially in that type of candle, you're allowing, if you're using an oil, a condition oil, to go in there, that you are putting the oil down into the candle. So you can actually go down here along the side of the glass and put the oil in there by sticking like a skewer down and let it fill up in there. Or you can do what I do here and do the 3 spots like that, but you want to make sure that the oil doesn't really sit on top, that it's only going down into the holes, and that's going to prevent those types of candles from burning out. That's why the manufacturer that we are using a very particular manufacturer with a very particular style of candle, because we know that this is what works. This is what we're going to be offering in the shop until we can do our own hand-poured candles. If you guys aren't able to dress your own candles, stay tuned. Within the next month, Chris and I are going to actually have a service that we offer where you can purchase a hand-fixed candle from us.
Hopefully sooner than a month.
Hopefully sooner than a month. We're working out some kinks as far as the ordering process and trying to get everything situated, especially when it comes to the shipping of these candles, you guys, because they are in glass. So if you are ordering them, be mindful that when you order, and that's not just from us, but from any manufacturer or any other online shop, the glass casing on these is quite heavy. So like one of these candles weighs probably a good 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. So shipping them can be quite pricey, especially if it's going farther than like the same state that you're in. So just be mindful of that. Those are some little tips and tricks that we have to load candles correctly. That's not the only way to do it. There are some other things. This is just the basic loading and fixing of a 7-day candle. If you guys want to see more about this type of stuff, let us know in the comments below. If you guys have any further questions, also let us know in the comments below, or visit us on the website www.themysteriousspirit.com.
Don't forget to check out our Facebook and our Instagram.
That
our
is
Instagram
really
is at The Mysterious Spirit. In fact, I want to talk about this for just a second. We today have been cleaning out and reorganizing the apothecary, and
which is behind us and to the right of us and
everywhere. Everywhere.
Our home is our
everything.
workspace. It's everywhere, you guys.
But so in doing that today, we came across a jar, and this jar had spirit ashes in it from one of our dearly departed friends, and she passed about 6 years ago. She was a really close friend to both of us, and actually, if I'm being honest, I'm still in love with her to this day. Definitely one of the 3 most important people that have ever entered my life, including this fool. Oh, Spirit's waving hi.
She's saying hi, guys.
She knows we're talking about her. Oh, yep, damn straight. I'm right here, fool. Anyways, you guys. So what I ended up doing today, we found the jar and I set it aside, and I ended up making a special incense for her to honor her memory and to love and appreciate her.
We're coming up on her birthday and her death day, so
yeah, next month and the month after are going to be a little bit hard, but I want to show you guys kind of what I did here. Yes, it is in an old baby food container.
Save all of your jars.
Yes, every single jar. It doesn't matter how small, how large, whatever. If you have a glass jar,
clean it physically and spiritually, and it's a fucking brand new jar, and you can use it for whatever you need. In another video that Chris and I are going to do soon, we're going to kind of show you how we are set up a little bit and kind of do like behind the scenes stuff. That's not going to go on YouTube, you guys. That's going to go on Instagram and Facebook. So if you guys want to stay in touch with us easier and see us more often, you need to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
Plain and simple. But you will see in our cabinet, to his point about the jar, is that we have, God, hundreds of different jars from different things. Pasta sauce, martini olives from our alcoholic days. Just different things, you know, and they're just reusable. So...
And I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, guys. So you can see here, just basic jar that holds the incense that I made. It was a Palo Santo sage base along with the spirit ashes. There was rose petals. There was cinnamon for love, and then a few other things that I decided to put up in there. And I'm not really going to talk about because by now we've probably lost your interest at 25 minutes almost. But so this is about how you would charge something special like this. With your petition paper, you would write whatever you want to be your message all along the 4 sides, going in a clockwise direction.
If you can't, I do mine in a circular motion. That just depends on your preference. Chris and I are going to go in depth with like petition writing, because there's a few different ways you can do it, and there are some different things that you will want to do or can do based on the type of working you're doing. But what Chris has shown you kind of there is a basic petition layout. Yeah, I think, yeah, pretty basic petition layout. So, gosh, I feel like did we cover everything on the jar candles?
Yeah, on the jar candle for loading it, especially with the money drawing that we're doing right now. I'm pretty sure that we covered everything.
You can also, depending on your practice, drops of blood are a good offering as well that you would actually offer into the candle itself. But that depends on your preference. Chris and I work with blood all the time. We're not shy about that. There's no reason to be, in our opinion, but if you're not comfortable with that, you don't have to do that. But yeah, so I think we're going to stop rambling now because we both have a tendency to get off track really fucking easy. And we will let you guys go.
If you guys want to know more about, or if you want to, I suggest that you check out the post that I made earlier tonight about this when it was nice and full, as the candle was full. Mm-hmm. But yeah, check out our Instagram at The Mysterious Spirit. Our Facebook is The Mysterious Spirit, an old style apothecary and conjure shop. If you don't follow us, follow us.
The website, which we will put in the description box down below, is facebook.com/The Mysterious Spirit. Stay tuned because this is just the first in a series of videos that Chris and I are doing. We are going to show you guys how to load your basic coach style or taper style candles. And then we're also going to show you guys how to load and fix and burn properly these guys, which a lot of people get confused about. These are the jumbo, like 9-inch. It's actually a taper candle technically, or like a really small pillar candle. But there's a certain way that you want to use these that I find personally brings you the most results. But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you guys want to know more, definitely let us know below. If you guys want to connect with us and have like personal questions or want, we do free consultations with the Mysterious Spirit as well, so we can kind of help guide you a little bit about what types of things you might need in order to gain certain results. Definitely email us. It's info@themysteriousspirit.com. That goes both to Chris and I's phones. So as soon as we're available, we respond to those. But yeah, I guess that's it. And until next time, we will talk to all of you soon. Blessed be.
Blessed be.